We are on page 128 in the book, Stage 3, Applying Styles and Filters. First thing we're going to do is add texture to a shape layer. Go to Windows and open up your Styles panel. In the Styles panel options, make sure that you have Small List selected, and then you're going to open and add the Legacy Styles and More. Inside Legacy Styles, you're going to expand that and expand all Legacy default styles, again expanding Web Styles. You're going to go to your Layers panel and select the Rounded Rectangle 1. Let me pick up my move tool so I can get that selected. And I'm going to apply the Black Anodized Metal style to that layer, and then click off to deselect. Next, I do want to zoom in just a little bit on this because I do want to be able to see a little bit more of, well, that's too much, of the car and the three boxes at the bottom. So I've got that a little better on the screen, and I'm going to apply a custom layer effect. Okay, so I've got this set up a little better where I can see it. First, I want to select my left inset layer, and I'm going to apply a custom layer effect. I'm going to go into my layer panel and select Layer Style, Drop Shadow. In the dialog box that pops up, I want to keep my drop shadow normal black. I want to make my opacity 50%, use global lighting, make my distance 10 pixels, the spread 5%, and the size 10 pixels. I need my preview selected so I can see what's going on, and you can see now that I have a little bit of a drop shadow on that box. I'm going to select the plus button next to that, which is duplicating the drop shadow. If you look at both of those, they have the same thing going on. And we're going to make some changes to the one on the top. Click in the color box and get the color picker. With the color picker, we want to move our cursor up over the dark blue that's on the car's windshield and sample that color. Click OK to change the color, and then uncheck the global light and change the angle to -150. Use your tab to move around. Change your opacity to 75%. Change the distance to 20 pixels. The spread, and watch the changes as they appear, to 10%, and the size to 20 pixels. And then select OK to apply the styles. In the Layers panel, let's go down here where you can actually see this a little better, and you're going to Alt-click the word Effects and drag it onto the center inset layer. So I may have to do some juggling here to get that to show. Let me pull my Layers panel off because I need a whole lot more room than I have. So I'm going to Alt-click on Effects and drag that to Center Inset. And that's going to duplicate that effect. And then I'm going to do the same thing with that to add it to the right inset. Make sure that you read over pages 133 and 134 that go into layer styles more in depth. It will explain a good share of the options that are available, and some of them you might just want to play around with to see what they actually do. In your right inset layer, grab that second drop shadow, hold down your Alt key, click on that and drag that up and apply that to the car layer. Then double click the drop shadow effect to open the dialog box. Click in your document window and drag down, and you should be able to adjust the distance on your drop shadow to make it more prominent behind the car layer. Now if you are dragging and you happen to change the angle a little bit on that, you're going to see that the global angle is going to change for all of the drop shadows, but the distance does not, because the only thing that's linked is the global lighting. Change your size field to 50 pixels and then you can click OK to accept the change. Next, we're going to be using the filter gallery. Select the Inset 3 layer and go to Filter, Filter Gallery, and you're going to get this dialog box. The Filter Gallery dialog box is going to apply the last used filter, and if necessary, you can change the view percentage and position in the dialog box so that you can see the inset image clearly. Expand the artistic filter selections and select the plastic wrap. You can adjust the filter options until you're satisfied with the result, and then click OK. Now you can change the highlight strength, the amount of detail that's left, and the smoothness. And when you're satisfied, select OK. Alt-click on the filter gallery listing and drag that to Inset 2. And again, drag the Smart Filters onto Inset 1. You can collapse the filter for Inset 3 and save what you've done. I'm going to zoom out to show my whole document, and then I'm going to open the tires file. Selecting your Move tool, right-click on the background layer and select Duplicate Layer, and in the dialog box choose the magazine file as the destination and select OK. You can then close the tires file and you will be back in the magazine file. Click that background layer that just popped in and you're going to drag that to the bottom of the stack. That opened back up on me. There we go. Now hide all of the other layers except the background. And with that layer selected, you're going to go to Filter and choose Liquify. In the bottom left corner of the dialog box, open the View Percentage menu and choose Fit in View, which is what it really should have popped up as by default. And in the upper left side of your dialog box, choose the Forward Warp tool. On the right side, let's define a large brush with medium density. They chose to use a 500 pixel brush, which is probably a good size, somewhere around in through there, 400 to 500, 600 pixels. We want a 50% density, which would be great. Use pin edges so that we don't pull anything away from the edge, and you can click and drag to warp the pattern away from that fairly decent looking stack of tires. You can change your pressure. This is cool if you've got the tablet to work with. You can do this with the Wacom tablet, and you can apply different pressures to see what kind of adjustments that will make. Have fun with this. And when you're satisfied with what your results are, click OK to accept the changes, and then you'll be back in the magazine file and you can turn on the rest of the images so you can see how that looks. Continuing on page 142 using the eyedropper tool, hide everything except for the car layer and pick up your eyedropper tool in the Tools panel. Make sure that your sample size is set for a 5x5 average. You're going to sample all layers and you want to check the Show Sampling ring. You're going to use your eyedropper tool over the left edge of the vehicle. We want this light silver color, and you can click when you find the color that you like. You can see the sampling ring around there. The colors are going to show what the former foreground color was and the current color that you're picking, and you can see how that changes. But we want a nice light silver color, and click to change the foreground color, and then move the cursor over the bottom part of the headlight to pick up the turn signal, and hold your mouse button down again until you get a color out of there that you're happy with, and then you're going to Alt click, so we release that, and then Alt click to set the background color. Now my foreground color got changed, so I'm going to go back up and I'm going to pick up the color that I wanted up here. We're going to use those colors to create a custom gradient. Choose the Gradient tool in your Tools panel, and then go to Window and open the Gradients panel. Click the arrow to the left of the Basic folder to expand that set. Click the button in the top right corner of the Gradients panel and change to a small list. You'll have to scroll down to get back to your Basics folder. Click the Create New Gradient button at the bottom of the panel. In the presets, expand the Basics and then click the left gradient swatch, which is actually the same one that's coming up here, which is the foreground to background color. Click the right color stop below the gradient ramp and drag left until the location reads 60%. Double-click that stop to open the color picker and change the colors to a cyan of 25, a magenta of 40, yellow 80, and black, or K, should be 5, and then select OK. Click the left stop and drag it until it's set at 30%. Click the diamond between the first and second stops, which is the halfway point, and drag that right until it shows 80%. Click below the left gradient ramp to add a new stop and set that location to 0. Double-click the new stop and change the stop color to white. So it's going to be a 000 for all of the CMYK, or your hexadecimal color is FFFFF. Click the left stop again to select it, and click below the right end of the gradient ramp and add another stop. Set its location to 100%, and it's duplicating the white. In the name of this, call it Car Background, and click the New button, and that's going to save our gradient. Clicking OK will close the dialog box.